This will be a tutorial on Swamp Gossip's alternate exit. I'm going to showcase a method that is slightly slower than optimal, but is easy to make consistent, or at least relatively easy to make consistent, and that I find very helpful. I'll demonstrate the whole thing first, and then I'll go through it step by step. I got a bad shield turn there. I think this still works, though. Yeah. Whoops. All right, and we're in Deku Palace. So let's go through that step by step. The thing that's not really optimal here, other than the pause buffering for the mega flips, is just the root hover setup. So like ideally, you'd basically pull a bomb immediately, so that the fuse starts counting down immediately. But what the position setup I did does is set you up so that you don't really have to time very many things, or at least all the things are timing inputs relative to each other rather than, well, within a small number of frames. Trust me, it's easier. I'll go through it. So it starts off, right, make a save state in here. It starts off with a tap side hop, right? So just, holding the stick for one frame, it's pretty easy to do that. Quick drawing sword, so B and then R right afterwards, and then 2 jump attacks, holding L and pressing A. You can check your X position here if you're in KZ practicing this. If it's 700.354, then you're in the right place. Though, like I showed before, if you get a bad shield turn and like move a little bit between the 2 R presses, then it actually still works, I guess, unless it's a really bad shield turn. So let me make a save state here. Whoops. So the root hover for this setup is 3 steps. You've got a bomb hover, a chew hover, and a spider Skulltula hover. Hi. For the bomb hover, what I'm going to do is pause buffer to a 2-frame window on the bomb's timer to initiate my backflip. And then for the chew hover and the Skulltula hover, all I've got to do is backflip, press either the chew button or the sword button right away, the very next frame, and then have R held on the very next frame after that. And for all of these hovers, I'm just holding down left notch. If that doesn't work for your controller, it's the same position for all of them, and the notch position it's very lenient. So don't worry too much about that if you have to be out of the notch for your particular controller. So I'm going to get ISG, and the frames that I'm looking for on the bomb timer are either of the 2 blue frames that are a pair before the bomb explodes. So the last pair of blue frames. So when we're in the fast section, is this it? I haven't been counting. It might be the next ones. Yeah, okay. So we've got these 2 blue frames, then 1 red frame. Nope, sorry. These 2 blue frames, then 1 frame, and then the bomb starts exploding. So it's very near the end, so you get basically an optimal height hover out of that. And either of those 2 blue frames will work. So I'm just going to pause buffer to that. Looks good. And I'm just going to, out of the pause buffer, or in the unpause lag, I'm going to keep holding L, press A and R, and hold down left. And I'm going to try to make a save state right after I do that. It's a little bit awkward to do on the controller, so we'll see if I manage to. Okay. So for the second hover, it's going to be, like I said, a chew hover, and I'm just going to keep holding down left through this. At this point, strictly speaking, you don't need to be holding L, though I usually do. And all you've got to do is press A, then X on the next frame, and then be holding R on the next frame after that. And it's pretty easy to do that, or, well, it's X for me, whatever your chew button is, to just slide my finger from A to X to get that. If I don't do that, well, here, I'll demonstrate that first. Oops. What? Okay, that was weird save state stuff. So that's what that looks like. If I take too long in pressing R or pressing the chew button, then I get, well, okay, sorry, in pressing R after the chew button, then my chew, well, it's not happening here. Usually, if you do that, your chew will ride on the wall, So I guess that was just because of the exact notch value I got on my bomb hover. But anyway, it's a bad thing. It won't work if you do that. So just make sure you get an optimal chew hover or a quick chew hover. One other thing that you just saw, if you take too long to do this chew hover, Link will snap to the ground because you've only done one hover. This is normal for hovers. So just make sure that you do the chew hover pretty quickly afterwards. This is really awkward to do with a save state. Okay. Make another save state. Now for the Skulltula part of this, it's exactly the same inputs as the chew hover, except instead of the chew button, you press the B button. And the reason for that is if you just hover on the Skulltula with shield. Oops. Wait. Oh, come on. There you go. You'll hit the Skulltula very soon in your backflip. You won't get as much height as you need. But this is so awkward out of a save state. If you pull the sword, you hit the Skulltula a little bit later, and that's what we want. So again, it's A, B on the next frame, B holding R on the next frame after that. And I'm still holding just back left. So from here, I would just do a backflip, still holding back left, and I get my pop-up, and I'm on the route. Yay! So let me demonstrate those steps in sequence again, because again, it's kind of hard to show that as very separate steps like that, and get a sense of the timing. And then I'll make a save state up on the route and show the rest of it. Alright, I'm on the red before the blue I want. That's good. Oops. Meant to backflip there. Okay, and during my backflip I pulled a bomb just because that's to prepare for the next hover. Normally I would go straight into the next hover after that, but obviously I'm demonstrating it right now. So it's fine that the Skulltula is dead, but it is worth mentioning that if you do this without pulling a bomb in that last backflip, and then like you walk up here with a bomb having spent a lot of time over here like setting up or something, then the Skulltula will knock you off. So it does have to be a little bit more fluid than that, though it's not really very tight on time. So anyway, let me make a save state now. Did I just get rid of ISG? I think I did. Okay, I'm gonna give myself ISG again. Okay. Save state. So the rest of this is just like standard stuff. The root hover part is the setup that I made that I haven't seen before, though I'm sure people have made other similar things. The rest of this is kind of standard, so you can learn it from any source, but since I've already gone over the first part, I might as well go over the rest. It's not too complicated. So you're going to want to target the wall right over on the left side of the root here. You see my horizontal angle snaps, on my right, on the watches on the right, hang. Snaps to 3A, 6-3, that's the angle I want. Over here will not do, over here will do. And from here, I'm just going to backwalk up the root and do a height hover. Something like that, that's fine. Don't want to be like on the very last frames of the bomb, but we certainly don't want a distance hover. That'll screw things up later. This will be a set of 4 hovers, by the way. So that's the first one. The second one is just a chew unlock, straight back. The third one, I'm going to walk, and you can see the camera's turning. I'm going to redo this so that the camera doesn't have time to turn, but just to demonstrate. I'm going to walk up left basically as much as I can without Link entering a sidewalk animation. It doesn't have, like, it's not too precise. You don't have to, like, find the sidewalk animation and then go a little bit back from that. You can just do this. And then you just kind of need to flip the control stick to the opposite side from there so you get a backflip out of it, and press A and do a quick chew hover again, like so. This one is another one where it matters that you you're holding R right after you press the chew button, because if you don't do that, then the chew will run down the wall. From here, this is the last of the set of 4 hovers here. I'm going to turn left to do this. And conveniently, because of the turning we just did without targeting... Oh, sorry, I should have mentioned that. I'm still not targeted from the chew on target. Because of the way that works, I can just hold up to get the slow walking animation that's needed for a hover turn, whatever that's called. Then release to neutral and then just tap left. These are my notches. So that's the angle that I want. Now, normally I would hold the bomb during that turn so that the bomb timer is counting down, but for demonstration purposes I'm not. I'll show this all again in a sec. Now from here it's just going to be a backflip hover that's kind of a height hover, and this is basically exactly where I want to be. I can tell it's good because from left to right Link is kind of in this root texture. And then height-wise, if I pull out a bomb, and I can tell this just by looking, it's going to be very visible above Link's head. And, you know, strictly speaking, you don't need it to be visible for a hover, but that's just a good indicator that you've got enough height. If I were to do this and I were a little bit lower down, which I can't easily show right now, but if I were a little bit lower down and I didn't think, like, if I pulled out a bomb and it didn't show above the root texture, I would just do a really, really small height hover, like one of the last frames of the bomb, kind of recoil flip timing, just to get up a little bit before I do the next step, which is the 2 mega flips, which are the last things in the trick. So I didn't need to do that here, but I'll do a few demonstrations later, and I'll probably run into some mistakes, so I can show how those go. So that's the series of 4 hovers. I'll do it all in sequence now. I targeted the wall, I'm back walking, I'm doing a height hover off the bomb, I'm untargeting with the chew, I'm turning, like, walking left a little bit, and pulling back with the chew, or backflipping with the chew, and then not targeting. I'm walking forwards, releasing to neutral, tapping left, pulling the bomb, and doing a height hover, and again, this is a good position. We do that one more time without hesitating. Whoops, hold on. I thought I was up against the wall. Okay, so that time I failed the turn. So what I'd have to do in this case is just untarget again, and then I'd take my time with this. Whoops. Oh, come on. There we go. And then do the turn like that. That did screw up my angle, so try not to do that. That's just kind of a bad mistake to make. So do it one more time. I have no idea why that happens. Not the faintest clue. Okay, I did it again. Let's try not to do that. There we go. It's funny, these things that are usually not an issue are becoming an issue just for my tutorial. Alright, so this is a good position. Like I said before, you can tell from left to right, he's in the root texture, and the bomb above his head will come above it, so you know he's got enough height. From here, it's just 2 mega flips. I'm not going to go over how to do a mega flip. Also, I'm not going over how alternate exits work. I assume you either know that or can look it up from another source, like what the goal of the trick is. So yeah, I'm not going to go over how to do mega flips exactly, but I will show you how they work here. So the first one, I'm going to do it with the correct timing, ideally. I pause buffer these. I'm just going to do a frame perfect mega flip back, so it's going to be max speed, 17 speed. And it's just going to go straight back, and around when Link starts making a sound, I'm just going to stop it with a chew and ideally unlock. And then just target again, just to control the camera a little bit. That was probably a little bit earlier than I normally would do it, but my timing is a little bit thrown off from pausing for so long. For the second one, I'm going to go for another full speed mega. But for this one, I'm going to curve left a little bit by holding right. And I'm also going to hold L just so the camera behaves afterwards. And I'll show why in just a minute, but let me just show that first. Okay. Now, actually, let me make a save state here. This will be convenient. So I got my full speed mega, and if I don't touch anything, I missed. Ah! But if I do touch something and curve it a little bit, I make it. Neat. So let me show why that is with the collision view. So if I just don't touch anything, I barely missed that corner. And was too far to the right. If I curve a little bit left, I make it inside this corner. And whether you really need that curve just depends on your exact position and angle that you got from the hovers. So you don't always need it, but it's definitely nice to do that to play it safe. Just make sure you don't go way over here. Okay, so let me show the last little bit. I will want collision on. Well, I'll keep collision on for a sec. So from this mega, I land here, and then you can land in kind of a variety of places here. Oh, also, let me show why I'm holding L. If I don't hold... Oh, whoops. If I don't hold L... Hello? Oh, I'm just not holding right enough. What? Huh. Does that actually change my steering? Huh. Okay, so, interesting. I guess I was holding right by too much. I've never really had that issue while doing this trick, so I imagine that's just because I'm not used to the amount I need to hold right when I'm using the save state. So, take that as you will. Anyway, so I land kind of here, and then you'll always land like roughly here, so what you can do is just back walk a few steps, and then I hit the load zone where I was, but if I had landed over here... Oh, that still worked. Over here? No, it's still going to work. Sometimes you land over here, and so you just need to back walk a few steps and then side hop into the load zone. Now, if you miss it, so I went a little bit too far, oh no, I'm lost in here. This is obviously easier to get lost in without collision view. What I would do is just run towards the gossip stones you can see in the distance, back in the swamp gossip grotto. Run towards those, target the wall that is facing those. Do 2 hold backflips, and then you can just side hop from left to right until you find it. The backflips put you in line with it. Okay, so just to round out this tutorial, as though it's not long enough, I'm gonna do this from the beginning a few times, and I'm kind of hoping I'll make some mistakes so that I can point them out and maybe help you debug them, because you'll probably run into them too. So I did my tap side hop. I can't actually narrate this at speed. Okay, so that time, because I was talking, I missed the frames that I was going for. The bomb explosion pushes me back a little bit. If I'm gutsy, I can just kind of run back up here and hope for the best. I'm not that gutsy, so I would probably reload the area and redo the setup. Alright, I'm going to not talk this time. I missed ISG. Same thing. I would probably just reload. Now, I was kind of hoping to make some mistakes, but not all mistakes. Alright, so this is the red before the blue I want. Gold is one of my blues. So bomb, chew, sword. And now I'm here. I pulled the bomb midair. Okay, I got a bad angle, so I just gave up, made sure I didn't blow myself up. Now I'm trying again. I'm having a hell of a time getting this angle changed today. This is like the least of my worries in runs. Alright, and this is a terrible angle and everything's screwed up. So don't do that. I was going to say, until you're comfortable getting that angle change quickly, you might want to do the angle change before pulling out the bomb. So I guess I'm going to do that. Oh my god. Get my angle change, great. Now I'll pull out the bomb. Alright, this looks pretty good. Neat. And I'm just going to curve this last one to the left a little bit. There we go. During the megas, you can probably like look at the direction Link is going relative to the gossip stones and use those as a cue for how far you need to bend left. But I don't do that. It doesn't seem necessary, so just an idea. Let's go through this just one more time. There we go. Ah, yeah, this is something that happens sometimes. Not really sure why, but if it does happen, it sucks. The best idea I know of, because if I pull a bomb right now, oh, okay, you can see it. Sometimes you can't when this happens. What I would do is just hover a little bit. I meant to hover a little bit more than that. Basically just to get Link on screen so you can see what's going on before you do the second mega. And then, well, that was a bad mega. You could see my speed was bad, so don't do that either. I just didn't pause buffer perfectly for it. The root hover's nice and consistent. I pressed A before the unpause lag. Yeah, so I think the camera's behaving is probably just because I failed the chew on target. Oh, okay. It decided to come back down this time. It doesn't always. Next frame? There we go. No? Okay, having trouble with my megas. Alright, so I'm just going to curve this one. Nope, it's a bad mega again. Great tutorial, huh? The moral of the story is get good mega flips. Man, doing a really bad job of getting that chew unlock. So, wait for the camera. It's deciding to be friendly today. Good enough. Alright, gonna curve that. Alright, finally made it, and I backwalk a little bit, and okay, I happen to be in line with the load zone. Nice. Okay.